Hey guys, welcome to the shop. This shop makeover is way overdue. First thing we're going to do is the floor coating, so come on inside and let's get started. So we got thinking about the cabinets we wanted to put out in the shop after the makeover, and we bought this 48-inch Craftsman cabinet not too long ago. It really adds to the room. We really like it, and we like the color combination, the red and the black. So we're going to run Lowe's, and we're going to pick up some 32-inch cabinets that are the same color, just it'll be more manageable because of the size. So we're back from Lowe's. We went and picked up our Craftsman 32-inch cabinets, and we're going to unload them. We're going to throw them on some carpet dollies, and we'll get them in the shop, get them put together, and it's going to make a big difference on our makeover. So I'm building the 32-inch cabinets. I tried to do them standing up against the workbench, but I found that if I open up the box and lay them on the ground, a whole lot easier to assemble. Okay, there's E-Doggy and John putting together another one of them Craftsman 32-inch cabinets. Hi guys.
Hey.
Good work.
He did it all.
Midwest Concrete Floor Coatings needs everything out of this section of the building in order to do the floors. We've got a couple of cars in here. We've got the 65 Mustang and the 72 Elcamino. We've got lots of tools, toolboxes, workbenches, welding machines. This section of the building is 30 by 50. We've got to get everything out of this section, put it over in this section, which is 34 by 40. We've got to move some stuff out of here, and it's going to take quite a bit of work. Plan to make a move like this at your shop. A lot of times you'll run into unforeseen problems. So the guys that are going to coat the floors, they have to have this stand that we made for the furnace, and it has to be out of the way. So we're going to come up with a way to suspend the furnace from the wall. So we got wheels, suspensions tightened up on the Mustang so it can roll. We've got the Elcamino. It's ready to go upstairs to the other garage. We got beer run. Beer run is all ready to go. Batteries charged up, ready to go up to the other building. It's always good to have extra hands when you do something like this, and we got plenty of friends. We had a lot of stuff to move, and we were cleaning as we were moving also. So it was good to have these guys helping us out. We couldn't have done it without them. Our four-legged friends showed up also. Rambo and Gypsy came down to see what was going on. They approved. Slowly but surely, we're making a dent in this thing. With the help from our friends, we're starting to get just about everything moved out. Everything's out of the shop, except a couple welding machines, welding table. Mustang is still on the rack. We've got the Mustang down off of the rack. We're going to put it in the trailer. We'll store it for a few days outside. Here's what the other side of the building looks like. That's a lot of stuff in a little space. The shop is finally empty. You'll notice that we left the lift in place. The guys coating the floors are just going to work around it. One of the things that you won't notice from this camera shot is how rough the floors really are. A lot of the places that were really high traffic areas were starting to sand up, making it difficult to clean, making the place dusty. The other thing that we noticed was how rough the walls are. We are definitely going to have to repaint. It's the morning of the first day. This job's going to take 2 days. Midwest Concrete Floor Coatings pulled up, and they were ready to roll as soon as they opened up that trailer door. They're unloading some equipment, and they're going to get ready to start. Starting to get noisy around here. These guys got a lot of prep work to do. As I mentioned earlier, our floors are not in that great of shape. There are some cracks, there's some chips. All those areas have to be filled and then ground smooth. Just like painting a car. If you don't do your prep work right, your paint job ain't gonna be any good. So these guys are doing that prep work. all the grinding is done. The cracks have been ground. Any of the imperfections that needed to be hand ground are cleaned out, vacuumed up. They're mixing up the compound that goes in these cracks and these imperfections. These guys will spread this stuff out, it'll dry, and then the grinding will start. Again, you'll notice it's noisy again. Now the hand grinders come out, and these are the surface grinders. So what they'll do is they go around with that surface grinder that is handheld, and they'll clean up any of the areas that they put the compound in. Then they come around with the large grinder. This is the one that really makes the difference and is going to get the job done in preparation for that first coat of polyurea coating. These guys really work well together. One guy is always one step ahead of the next guy. The floors are ground. Now everything has been vacuumed off. They're mixing up the coating that is going to be the base coat that's going to go on top of this ground floor. And here it is. It's the polyurea base coat. It goes on in a gray. It's going to be spread out with a roller. And then as they're spreading it out, they start to apply the chips. You can see one guy at the beginning had a roller. He's spreading out the base coat as another guy with a brush goes around the edges. Then one guy is throwing out the chips. They all kind of work in unison because one guy can't get ahead of the other based on dry times and different things like that. And notice the technique of throwing them chips out. I asked them about that, and they said that they've tried everything there is to throw them chips out, and they basically just loft it into the air and they over chip it. A lot of those chips will get picked back up. You can see them guys moving their way across the floor. Everybody knows their job. These guys really worked well together. So the polyurea base coat and the chips have been applied. This stuff needs to dry for a little bit. So the guys are going to go to lunch, and then when they come back, they'll check it for dry, and then the next process will start. It's after lunch on the first day. The floor has had time to dry, so the base coat is set up and it has set the chips. Now what they have to do is they take and they scrape the floor, and what that does is any of the chips that are standing on edge, it cuts them down to flat so that they don't produce too much texture in the floor. After that, they clean up the chips, they vacuum everything, and they get ready to apply the clear coat. It's time for that first coat of clear. All the chips have been scraped and vacuumed up. There are no excess chips on the floor. One guy's going to go around the edge with a paintbrush and apply clear. The other guys are going to use a squeegee and a roller. The squeegee goes in one direction and the roller goes in another, and it helps create a good, even finish on the floor so that when you look across it, you don't see any patterns. As these guys start to apply the clear, you really get an idea of how well this floor is going to look. Let's take a moment and we'll just watch them work. It's really going to look good.
Now the critical part.
Yep.
And it's hard, Joe.
I got it.
Or not really hard. No, I'm not numbers by any means, but this took a minute to get used to, I can tell you that. Yeah. I'd be good at resealing the blacktop, but you won't ever get clean enough for that.
Most kids.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Was that one Mountain View or something?
Mount Everest? Yeah, I like that. I don't like that color at all. It doesn't cover for crap.
First coat of clear has been applied. It looks great. Now we've opted for a second coat, so we're going to let this dry overnight, and tomorrow they'll be back to put on the second coat. Day number 2, time for that second coat of clear. This job is almost done. What that second coat of clear is going to do for us, it's going to give us a little bit more shine, and it's going to reduce the texture. It's going to make that floor just a little bit smoother. They'll put the second coat on just like they did the first. Step 1 in our shop makeover is complete. The floors are finished. Scott and his team from Midwest Concrete Floor Coatings did a great job. If you're in the St. Louis, Missouri area, I recommend you give these guys a call for your coating needs. So this attractive and durable new floor in our shop is only the first step in this shop makeover. I want you to join us next time when we break out the paintbrush and the roller and we get a paint job on this place. So we'll see you next time at the shop.